Hey, Aries.
How
Okay.
have you been? It's a pleasure to speak with you again.
Oh, thank you. Use the time in a great way. You know, even though I'm a control freak, I realize I can't change it. So it's like, okay, what you gonna do, right?
Exactly. That
Go
leads
with
to
the
the first
flow.
question. It's like, how have you been dealing with the pandemic, and just have you discovered any new talents and things like that?
Oh, not so much new talent, but things like, you know, more vegan recipes. So I think I could probably open up a vegan restaurant.
Okay.
Scientists in the kitchen, right? Making things taste like meat. And then just also really became super smart at investing and learned about stocks and bonds, understanding it instead of passing it on to my advisor. So it's like, fired him. So I'm like, I know how to do this myself now. Yay!
Exactly. Say that little check you was giving out for that.
Exactly. And I'm like, no, I realized I've been like, look, I've been being robbed. Like all kind of stuff was happening. People were like, oh Lord. But people got a chance to really sit down, right? Like, oh man, I don't even know how to sit around and do nothing. But this is an awesome time to learn, to grow, to reach, to stretch, to do the things, you know, that we always gave excuses for, right? Eating better, losing weight. I mean, it's like you got all this time to grow your hair, learn, read, you know, learn a new language. So yeah, I would definitely say keep evolving, and spiritually, it's a great time to get centered. I've been like doing meditating, which I hadn't been doing, which it was hard for me to do. I always said I wanted to do it, but I couldn't sit still to do it.
Right.
And chanting and all that. So I'm very peaceful and I love it, you know. And when I don't do it, I'm like, oh my God, I get it. I was like, I gotta get centered.
Got it. You are such a workaholic, and again, with this pandemic kind of slowing us all down, what's like one of the first main projects you're excited to get working on once we're a little clearer, and what we can do and all that?
Well, I actually, I'm also, you know, I have a company called Supernova and Karyn White Enterprises. So I'm excited because I just found my new Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm so excited. Derek, my business partner, his son just blew us away, and we're excited to start working on. He's already done the work musically, so we're just putting it together. We're going to produce a film. Not a film, actually, we're doing a sizzle reel for TV around him and his life. So I'm excited to get involved in that. And I love, like I said, I don't have to be upfront as the artist. I love bossing people around. People around, and I love the fact that I know what I'm doing. So it's just like, okay, the part I can just say, like, please just listen, like just, and if they can do it, it's fun because it's like, okay, let's just, you know, put our talents together, everybody do what they're great at, and so I've always, you know, done that. So I'm excited to do more of that right now.
I have to get on some juice because, you know, we UB, and I wanted to ask you about something.
You wanted to ask me?
The Babyface tribute, that was 2 years ago, and but someone else was performing the song, and a lot of people on Twitter was upset, including myself. So my question is, a part of those tributes, whether it be Jimmy and Terry, whether it be LA and Babyface, do they actually reach out? Is it the BET Soul Train? How does that work where you're the artist but you're not performing your song?
Well, actually, I'm going to tell you, I wound up, it came full circle to where I really found out the exact truth. At first, I was upset with Face and Daryl and LA and BET. But then I realized, I found out that the person, the woman who made the call, she was based, it was numbers, you know, they're like, Fantasia's hot, we don't know, we haven't seen Karyn White, and they just went with her. She was doing the other vocals with me, and so it was a matter of her making a bad decision because she didn't understand that it's not the fact that we all know Fantasia is amazing. It's doing it for the culture. It's like you took away a timeline of that people were able to see themselves in. They grew up singing the song to Karyn White. So it was a diss. It was a diss. And I was so glad that I wasn't going to say anything. Normally I wouldn't, but I was so glad that I spoke up because it was weird of me to just sit back and just be like, no, I didn't want it to happen. So I had to explain it because people were, blowing me up, and it was embarrassing because I had no clue. I'm like, huh? What? Huh?
Yeah.
But you know what? It's just, I was really, it just showed me that, that how amazing, because even when she sang it, just people just responding to the song was such a big hit. And I had no clue, because just like you look back when you're doing something so, especially so young, and you're just so busy trying to only think about your next record. You're not sitting back going, oh, I have these great hits, because you're too busy trying to, I got to get another one.
Yeah.
So I'm reaching for the next, trying to get another. So it just really showed out, and to see so many of the younger artists, kind of reminds doing my music, just like Shaka, and when Mary did Sweet Thing, and, a lot of people will sing Shaka songs. Yeah, so it was like I looked at it in a positive way because I knew that my young audience, they were finding me. Not even, they were like, oh, you're the original. Yeah, they were parents. So it was, it's been good because it kept my name out there.
Miles of music fans.
Exactly, and with the, the new generation. Hey.
Never did a chance. Dionne Warwick, Gladys Knight, and Patti LaBelle did the cover of Superwoman. So I got 2 questions for you on that one. First off, what was your reaction when you first found out that they wanted to record it? And then what was your reaction when you first heard it, their version?
Okay, so this was really interesting because the song was about maybe, I don't know if they did it the year after or maybe.
Yeah, it was like years.
Maybe a year or 2. Because I remember being on the road, I think, because I was on the road with Bobby Brown for like almost 2 years. So we had such a huge success. So I was kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, at first I was like, okay, I definitely got 3 icons, right? Like Dionne, Patti, and Gladys. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, they're going to sing my song. They're going to do a Luther on me. Because look, if Luther sing your song.
Right, he take your kids now.
It's a rap. Like, they don't even remember it. And I let even Stevie Wonder's, creep. You know what I mean? So, so I was thinking that. But actually, it was, they didn't steal it. So it was just, it became, to me, it was one of those, it was a compliment to me because it's like you have 3 icons.
Exactly, yeah.
Singing your song. But it was, like I said, it was scary. I ain't gonna lie. And I love, my favorite, I love all 3 of them, but, Gladys is just, she's just one of my favorites. Her and Dionne. It was really an honor when you really think about it.
Exactly. Like, I can't believe I never asked her about that. That's so amazing to have those people sing your song. Like, wow.
And look at it. Look how cool it is how we can just, like you said, go back in time and reflect and come up to date. So I'm just blessed that I have such a timeless catalog of music and a song. Because trust me, if you just to get one,
Exactly.
look, I don't take that for granted.
Real good. Okay. Who or what has taught Karyn White the toughest lesson you've learned in the music industry?
Who or what has taught Karyn White the toughest lesson? Yeah. Man, gosh, probably myself, because what I did was well, how can I say this? Okay, so Karyn, I started out with an amazing team. I had Larkin Arnold, who was the president of CBS Sony Records. He was my manager. He's the person who discovered Luther and Sade and Natalie Cole. You know what I mean? Thriller, he got points on Thriller. So he was my manager. And so I thought that, it's just stupidity. You're young, and when you have success fast, I'm thinking, I want to go pop. I should have done, triple platinum instead of what I did, So, so I let him go and got with another manager who managed George Michael. Okay. And this guy, it was a bad mistake because I felt like on my second album, Ritual Love, he was really trying to make me more of a diva, kind of black. When I say black, Madonna, the recording artist. He wanted to be. It became more pop, and I felt like I kind of abandoned even though I've always had a big pop fan base with songs
Right.
like, Secret
Even The Way You Love Me was, yeah.
The Way You Love Me, I've always had it, but it was just really a concentrated effort because I feel like some of the most incredible songs weren't released on that second album. So that lesson was, it's like jumping ship and not understanding how amazing of a team I had. Not understanding, like, girl, you had the best. Just wanting it too fast, and and I think I thought that way because when I married Terry Lewis, I became, it was such a big world that I was in. At going to Flight Time, I call it the house that Janet built.
Yeah, okay.
So, and you're talking about, not only me doing 2 million worldwide, you're saying, Janet's doing 10 million. So, so I'm thinking I want to cross over like Janet.
Exactly,
so,
yeah.
I want to get there too fast. So that would be the mistake. I think I was too busy looking at, instead of just being grateful for what I had and just staying true to who I was, and instead of trying to cross over. Yep, so that's a lesson.
I love it though. It's something that teaches, and that's what we try to do with a lot of these interviews and when we ask questions like that, because the lesson in that is it's about having the right team. And I tell people that all the time, clients I work with. So I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, like, look, I can tell you a lot of lessons, but we'll just say
Okay.
Another one would be not dating your producers. Not, because I've, been known to, I guess it's just the Libra charm. But I've been known to have, pretty much relationships with my producers. So it's kind of like, that winds up being bad. So I would tell, if I could tell people, like, keep it business.
Yeah, definitely. I like that too. And you touched on the second album in that response, to Ritual Love. So I want to do a rundown of the first 3 albums. So the first album,
okay.
First album, the self-titled. What did you enjoy most about being a new artist once the album was released?
What I enjoyed most? I enjoyed the freedom that Warner Brothers gave me, because I consider myself, a lot of people didn't have bands, so I had a band. I wasn't out here doing track shows.
Okay.
I was able to start. I had an amazing band who played with Sheila E. and Prince and O'Brien. I had some of the best musicians, and Jeff Lorber. So I just had some incredible musicians, and I was able to really come out as a true artist. And that's what people know me from. They're people, I've always had bands. I've always been, controlling them as far as, the music and just conducting. And that's always, I call myself a band chick. So I've always done that.
I love that one. And then Ritual of Love. Let's see, what was my good question on that one? Because you just stated about the business side. So on the production side, how did you balance the change from working with LA and Babyface to working with Jamie Lewis for that project? Because there's a total difference.
It's a big difference, and I wouldn't say night and day, but I mean they're both great at what they do and have incredible ears and understand how to write music, and I do too. So it's like I know a hit song, I know the right chords, I know who I am as an artist. So when I came to, I wasn't really supposed to work with Terry. I didn't. Terry and I were dating, and LA and Babyface had, after my success, they had, started LaFace. Yeah. So in essence, they could only pick so many artists that they could work with outside of what Clive would let them do. And so Terry, he it made sense. It's like, you need to continue with LA and Face and Daryl. They were, you guys had amazing success. So I really didn't like the fact that, for some reason, I don't know if it was just some kind of like competition that I kind of got in the middle of between the producers. Oh yeah. Because I felt like LA, I'll say that because me and him were really close. So it's like, let them do it. I'm like, well, wait. No, I don't want that. I mean, I want you guys. Of course, I want Jimmy and Terry, because nobody can do up tempos like Jimmy and Terry. You understand? It's like, who didn't want that? Come on now, that heat that they bring on those up tempos. I wanted to have actually the best of both worlds. I'm like, give me the ballads, and then I have, you know, the upturn. So Terry was, you know, they didn't really, it wasn't like they were supposed to do it. So in essence, when LA and Face couldn't do it, of course I was like, you know, will you guys work on my record? But even before that, I won't even say that, I was supposed to work with Prince.
What?
That's what happened. Actually, it's coming back. Prince had called me, and when I talk about that, we were talking about guitar players, right? A band that I was in, one of Levi played with Prince. So this is, they called me and I came up to Minnesota. He flew me up. So I was supposed to work with him on Ritual of Love. So yeah, but I didn't really like the music. It was a little too weird. He was going through the phase of Batman, and I know, you know, it's like he's Prince, but they're still, you know.
It wasn't your song.
Yeah, so I was like, I didn't really feel the music, the tracks he was playing for me, but I still wanted to work with him. Right. So after I told Terry that, and so I was like, will you guys please do the record, you know, do my album? And he was like, of course, you know, we'd love to. And so that's what happened. So most people don't know that. It wasn't, that's exactly why they did it. And the great thing about working with, you know, Terry and Jimmy is that they pull from your life, just like, and they help, they want you to write the music, you know? So that album was about me falling in love and being in love, the ritual of love. I mean, I had songs like Beside You and Tears of Joy and Do Unto Me and How I Want You. I was in love. I mean, you know, so that album was just a dance me and a romance me side. So it was I had a lot of fun making that because a lot of it was written by, you know, myself. So as opposed to them writing the music for me. I wrote a lot of my own melodies and lyrics with Terry and Jimmy. Mm-hmm.
I love that album. I told you that before. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely one of those hidden. It didn't do as well as the first one, but most people say they really love it too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Hard to Say Goodbye and Tears of Joy are my favorites.
Yeah. Hard to say goodbye. Yeah, Stokely was on that, and boy, he was so cold. His ad-libbing was like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So if I could do that whole era again, you know, it's just weird. I feel like when I moved to Minnesota, you know, they were such gods in Minnesota. You know, so I was like, it was a trip because I kind of didn't have I was on their turf, and I'm in the studio, but it was like the first album I had my crew around me. Yeah. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? You have to that's very important, your crew. And, you know, so I was kind of just trying to find myself in Minnesota. You know, and that's probably why I didn't use, like I said, I could have had so many people working with me. So anyway, that's one of those things. If I could do, if we can go back, right? There's one, I told you I got lots of those.
Well, it makes sense, yeah. You know, Minnesota born and raised, so thanks for the Minnesota shout out. Right now, yep, Minneapolis.
Oh, wow, Minneapolis. Yeah, then you know, my God, you guys were just, it was all about Minneapolis. Huh?
Exactly. And another thing, I don't know if you knew, but you probably do, but your daughter Ashley, she's worked for UrbanBridgez. She did some writing for us some years ago before she when she was in college, and then she graduated and went to the T station and stuff. So she reached out to me when she saw your interview, and she was like, I love your interview you did with my mom. Do you need any writers? So we love Ashley too.
Look, that's Ashley. Look.
Go get her.
And you know, and you know I don't know, but I'm like, if she better be somebody. She got her mom and her dad. Please. That's why I have high expectations. I'm like, she don't tell me. I don't know what she's doing, but
okay.
Like, I know she's
doing it.
And I'm proud of her because she's casting right now. So she was doing the right. She was doing newscasting. Now she's casting for reality TV show. So shout out to Ashley.
Yes. Much love and respect. So getting on the last album from that era, what was your goal when you set out to record Make Him Do Right? What was that?
Do right. Ladies, don't you let him do you wrong. Man, that was so, I had no clue. Because a lot of people will tell me today that is their favorite Karyn White album. And I was so out of touch with myself because I was going through it, trying to be this mother, this wife, this stepmom, being an artist, trying to start acting. And it was just, it was a lot. We had built this big house. There was just a lot going on in my life. So when that record came out, I was so happy because I was able to, I talked to Tracy Edmonds and I got, you know, we talked to Babyface and I got Babyface to wind up coming together. And I'm so crazy. I got Babyface to come to LA. I mean, to come to Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
So he recorded. Wasn't that weird? Look, I got Face to come to to Minnesota to record. So he recorded me in Minnesota, which was really cool.
Right.
So he did three or four songs.
Yeah.
Can I Stay With You? And Here Comes the Pain. And I think, maybe it was only two. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that album really did very well for me in South Africa and in Europe.
Okay.
It is huge. I mean, when I just went there, because I've never been to South Africa. I went in 2018. It was like Janet came. I'm trying to tell you, people were at the airport, my music is what they call evergreen over there. So like, you know, I'd Rather Be Alone, huge. Make 'Em Do Right, Here Comes the Pain. All that whole album was huge over there. So anyway, so that you know, it made me feel really good because I could have had a gold album, but at that time, I remember Warner Brothers telling me, Karyn, if you get out and promote this album, you could, you know, we're already at almost gold. Do you want to? And I was going through such a bad time in my life with Terry that I didn't want to get out and promote it. And I hate that I wasn't strong enough to do it all and say, okay, I'm going to continue to get out here and work on my marriage and be the mother, because Ashley was young then. Right. So, you know, so I have some regrets, but that album was, it was, like I said, it was bigger than I thought. So it made me feel good coming back because I didn't know. I'm like, oh, look, I had this whole country over here that was like, you are our Whitney Houston over here. I'm like, oh my God. They don't even like my up tempos. They're like, no, you can play all the ballads. I was like, y'all don't want to sing it Tina Turner, James. No, sing ballads. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. You know, I'm like, okay, it's all these different sides of me that people like, right? I'm like, okay.
Definitely, you definitely.
I'm just happy they love me. You know, it felt so good. You know, to have that kind of love, because in the States it's been pretty tough. A lot of people don't even know I'm back. So thank you for featuring me, because people are like, what happened to Karyn White? So during this pandemic, people are really finding me, and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know you had Carpe Diem and you know, all this new music out and these videos and you know, the whole thing. And you've been amazing. So it's been great too, because I've reconnected with so many people.
Love it. I've never met no one that don't love Karyn White. So yeah, telling people about the interview.
Look, if you don't love Karyn White, something got to be wrong with you.
Right.
Yeah. No, Superwoman. Look, they take up for the Superwoman, huh?
All the time.
That's what's up.
Before we get out of here, I do want to play a lyric game with you, because this is always fun.
A lyric game. Okay, here we go.
All right, first one. It might feel good on a lonely night, but laying in your arms today ain't right.
I'd rather lose you than lose my mind. I'd rather be alone. Be unhappy. You already know it, ladies. You better tell them. That's an anthem right there for you.
Exactly. I love that song. I love what you guys did with the video. It was just such.
Oh, thank you. And shout out to Jelly Bean from The Time.
Yes.
Who wrote that with me. Yeah.
Love it. And the second song is going to be lyrics. To be loved feels so good. My heart overflows. With love I will show. I'll never.
Oh, with love I will show. Tears of Joy. Tears of Joy. Yeah. That was Michael Powell. And that was another mixture. I got Michael Powell. Michael Powell did the music, and then Terry and I and Jimmy did the melody and the lyrics. So that was really a great combination. I'm like, I'm so quirky. I'm always like making these first time things happen.
Right.
And I sang that at Eddie Murphy. I sang that at Eddie Murphy and Nicole's wedding.
Oh yeah, I think you told me that story. That's beautiful because that's like my favorite song by you. I have so many, but I love the vocal, the lyrics, just everything on that.
Yeah, see, that should have been released. That should have been like the first single off the Ritual of Love album, or at least the second.
At least the second.
They should have went there. That's what I'm trying to say. If I would have had Larkin Arnold, he would have went there.
Makes sense.
Solidified my R&B.
Right.
And not pop. You know, let's try to be number one, even though I was number one. Look, try to remember that.
Romantic.
Look, number one is number one. I'm talking about pop. So, you know, that was the diva back then. Love me.
That's right. Poof. Then the last lyric we're gonna do is, here's the lyrics. More than temporary passion, I need more than empty love.
These are the facts of love. That was young Karyn White.
Introduced you to me. I fell in love as a little kid.
That was that young Karyn White. You should see that video, boy. She was bah, boom, boom, bah. Jeff Lover. Yeah. That was what Warner Brothers, they said, we see a star.
Mm-hmm.
She's unique. She's,
yes.
You know, and I was so glad being a chocolate girl represented. I didn't even really realize how many people looked up to me just, you know, for being that chocolate girl at that time. Not that they didn't have Whitney, but it was, you know, I love the fact that I never knew that. I was like, that's what's up. I was representing her.
Exactly, it really was that. I mean, because you think about it, if you go back to that time, it was people like Whitney, it was Pebbles, Jody Watley, yourself. You were the brown skin, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It makes sense.
Brown skin girls, just like pearls. Yes. But you know, that was Facts of Love, Jeff Lorber. That was how it all started. It's so cute because I remember seeing Layla Hathaway, and that's what she went to. You know, these are the facts. I'm like, she wasn't even talking about Superwoman. I was like, now you a diehard, you know. You know, right. Facts of Love. Look, I can tell the ones that.
Oh yeah, you know your day ones, yeah.
Yeah, my day ones, exactly. Yeah.
We have a very special guest in the house tonight. The lovely Miss Gail Storm.
Meet Gail Storm. Once the former lead singer of the Grammy-nominated band Eclipse. They were on top of the world, so she thought.
People love Eclipse because of our sound.
But still, we need to change with the times.
You a snake.
I'm a survivor. The secret to change is not worrying about your past. Focus on your future.
So what's next for the great Hannibal Shabazz?
Man, I'm putting together a super group. We bring back soul.
It's been a while since I've been on stage, just hanging in with me.
You just need to fall back in love with singing again. This game is like a Venus flytrap. That closes on your ass real fast.
You quit right at the height of your career. Why come back now?
I found out I got a whole lot more music left in me.
I just want to know if you can help me.
All right, what you need me to do?
Take over the world.
What kind of Hannibal are you? You got your good Hannibal, and then you got your Hannibal Lecter.
They see your rise and they just want to latch onto your coattail. They don't want clips, they want you.
I don't live in the past or the future. I live in the now.
Don't light it up unless you want to burn it down. I am the storm, so get up, back down. Don't light it up unless you want to burn it down. I am the storm, so get up, back down. And the people go,
I am the storm. I am the storm.
Yeah.
I am the storm. There you go, great.
Okay.
Gail and the Storm!
You should stick around for the show, because it's going to be fun.
then before we get out of here, I definitely wanted to ask you about the acting, because you did mention, you got back into or really kind of started, with Gail and the Storm. So tell people that don't know about Gail and the Storm what the whole concept of that is, and then let us know if we can expect any more acting.
Oh yeah, so Gail and the Storm is a independent movie that I produced and co-wrote and co-starred in. Woo! Shout out to me. Look, that was pretty brave. We used some Morehouse students that had won several awards, and the song, we knew that I could do it because I'm like, okay, it's loosely based on my life. It's about a legendary funk singer, not pop, who steps away from the music business, and she hooks up with a revolutionary music producer, and he tries to get her back into the game. And so I felt like it was a role I can do. Of course, I can play a singer. So Gail, and the great part about Gail Storm is that this music is so funky. So I was able to stretch. I was able to put out all this great music that was inspired by, Al Green and what's his name? Curtis Mayfield and Parliament and James Brown. And I mean, so it was a very eclectic project. The people loved the record. It's the independent film is doing very well. It was on Amazon Prime. We just got it back. So go to my website, KarynWhite.me. Check out the music. Check out the film, and you get to see your girl cussing out folks. Look, not me. I'm Gail Storm, right? Look, they say Gail can cuss her butt off, right? But I'm so proud, you know what? Because I'm of the school. It's like, I don't wait. I'm not gonna sit back and wait. And I hate these entertainers, they're waiting on a role. I'm like, why don't we just get together and produce our own movies and films? And why are we sitting back waiting on Hollywood to greenlight anything? And I don't believe in that. So for me, I feel like once I've done that, I was like, ain't nothing I can't do. If I did a movie, and it wasn't a huge budget, so I know that it can be done. So when people try to come to me with all this, oh, it's gonna cost millions, I'm like, right. Yeah, so I'm excited, and check out the film, and I also have a CD called Carpe Diem that has some hidden gems. That's an awesome album, and I want to shout out my producer, Derek D.O.A. Allen, who has the #1 record with Kim for 5 weeks in a row. He's the producer of both of the albums, Gail and the Storm and Carpe Diem. So shout out to Kim too. Yeah, so your girl, most people don't know this, so thank you for doing this interview and letting people get reacquainted to the new Karyn White. Right. I'm still here. I'm excited to be back. Go and follow me on IG. I'm always singing and performing because I gotta remind y'all. I have to remind y'all, like, remember Karyn White? No. But thank you guys. It feels so good to be honored today. Thank you.
No problem, our pleasure. And we touched on the last album. I just gotta say, Unbreakable. Oh my God, I love that song.
Unbreakable, yeah. I love that song. I'm glad I love your ear. I'm gonna have to start writing songs by you because you pick the ones that like you really do. I like your ear.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're in the business, so you know something about music, right? I've been around, 15 years? You guys have been? How long have you been?
Celebrating 15 years for UrbanBridgez, yeah. I started my first E-Zine 22 years ago, but this is the second one. Yeah.
Wow. And congratulations to you guys too. I mean, we know it's so competitive, and to stick with something and be around. And I know you love the music, and thank you so much. We need your supporting independent artists too.
I really appreciate that, Karen. Thank you. Is there any other closing comments you want to leave to the millions of fans?
Yeah, I just want to say to you guys that you gotta keep dreaming, and you gotta push yourself. It's the things that you don't want to do. And especially that's where the blessings are. It's like the things that are easy are easy. So it's you find it when you push through things. It's just like that's what makes me have this confidence, because you got to understand I left the business for 18 years, coming back into a whole nother game, but it's like it made me stronger. So it's like, because when I first came out, I was #1 on the charts. So it's like coming back, it's like and if you love something, it's like, find your why and be passionate about it. And so I would want to say that. And I also want to shout out my foundation, the Karyn White Foundation, giving away grants of $500, Superwoman grant. Go to KarynWhite.me. We just did our first round. We gave out 10 grants to ladies that have been in business, African American, who have been affected by the COVID-19 crisis. We're going to be doing it all this year, 2020. So check out Karyn White Foundation and support us, because I want to be able to help as many women of color that I can. And I'm excited about doing it.
Real good. Well, again, thank you for taking time out. It's always a pleasure speaking.
Thank you. I'm so glad we did it. It was cool. It was fun.
I agree.
You never know how these interviews are. You're like, it's love it when somebody really knows your history. You know, you know when they know. So thank you for really being a fan and loving the music.
No problem.